Hey, what's up guys, Random Porpoise here, and today we're back with another video, the final episode in the Vekoma double launched coaster trilogy, I think, for my Planet Coaster series that I have started recently, kind of. But yeah, today we're basically just finishing by doing all the queue line and scenery stuff, and just kind of finishing out the general entrance area. And I probably should have split this into 2 episodes because it's a little over 30 minutes of footage, like, when sped up. But I was too lazy, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Okay, that was toxic, but yeah, honestly, I'm just, like, can't be bothered, because, like, if it was 40 minutes, I would definitely do it, but it's only 30 minutes, and that's, like, the bare maximum, I guess, for a single episode. And I just kind of want to get done with this coaster, and so it's pretty much done now. There's a few things I haven't exactly done yet, but I'm gonna save those for later because I just want to work on my next roller coaster, which I already have. I'm not gonna spoil it, also some other stuff that I want to do, like in the park. Like I want to kind of finish off that kind of pathway that goes from the entrance to where this coaster is. Like add some shops and stuff, maybe a couple flats and family rides. I do already have most of the layout of the next coaster I'm going to build finished, so what I think I'm going to do for my next episode will be kind of like the layout of the next coaster and like kind of some path work. Then I'll kind of take a break from that and then go to kind of working on that whole area, like kind of in between the entrance and this coaster, which involves working on the scenery for a family coaster, which I made. So I'll do that, and then I'll go back to work on the other one I'm making, because I don't want to do, like, all the roller coaster episodes at the beginning, because that'll just get boring later on, because what I do when I make parks, I usually make all the roller coasters and then fill in the other stuff. But since this is a series, like, for videos, like, I don't want to just waste all the good stuff right away. Like, I want to build a few coasters, then do the area in between them, and do another 2 coasters in that area, so I know my plan next, it's like behind the wooden coaster on the same side that this coaster is, like of the main path. And it's going to be like a whole sci-fi area. And I have 2 coasters that I definitely want 2 coasters there. I might do 3 because there's a few different options. Well, I already have one that I don't 100% going to have there. And there's 3 other coaster types that I want to have in my park somewhere that I might put there. So yeah, and I'm not sure which one it's gonna be yet. I mean, I think I know which one I want to do, but I'm not like 100% sure on if that's the one I want to build. So yeah, that's the intro, I guess. I ran out of things to say. Alright, yeah. Q line. I did not cut this long part out of just me staring at his face. Cool. But here, I do like the chain link fences. You guys probably know this by now, but I'm addicted to these chain link fences. They can be used for a lot of different things. I mean, and they're just good fences in general. They're really good looking. They're realistic. And yeah, that's everything I have to say about them. I like them. So what I did here, it kind of goes out a while and then it comes back right next to it. I only put on the fences here just so I could see where the path was, because I'm going to delete the default fences and just have these custom ones. But what I ended up doing here was the whole thing surrounding these taller chain link fences, because in real life that's what it would probably be like, so people could just jump over the fence into the coaster path. And then in the center, to divide the 2 areas, so like people wouldn't be cutting and it wouldn't be like a madhouse in line, I just made my own smaller custom fence that I used. I think you saw me making it like earlier in the footage. I used, yeah, the curbs. I pretty much make one of the colors red and the other one white to match the colors of the coaster. And then just like stacked one horizontal and one vertical to support and just copy and pasted it a bunch. Yeah, I'm doing that right now, as you can see. Like that. And I think it works really well, actually. It's really simple, but I'm like, damn. Yeah, that was like what I said when I realized it would work. Because I originally wanted to the whole queue be the 4-meter fences, but with all the slopes, it was just getting too complicated to make it not look super messy. So I just went with these. And it looks better. And it's easier too. because it's like more, I guess, custom, I guess, so I can like adjust things easier that like don't work, you know? Like I can make transitions better for like when it's going from a slope to flat, like that would be harder to do. So yeah. That was it. And also like I just think like not all areas really need to have the bigger chain link fences. Like here on the paths, like no one's gonna jump over it. Like it's just common sense. You don't really need that there, I feel like, on the higher parts. And just like I'd rather be standing in a line where I can look right near the coaster, you know? I guess, I don't know. But like this was kind of like a trial, like me like putting it, like kind of making this path elevated and making like a custom structure for it. Like it was kind of like a trial because I'm planning on doing that a lot with my next coaster. Like the whole thing, you're not really going to be able to see the ground because it's all going to be like artificial, like I make it. It's going to be a sci-fi section, so I'm going to make it like a lot of like metal stuff and like sci-fi-y and like building stuff to make it look like it's really like industrialized, I guess. So that's my plan for that section. And now that I think about it, I kind of want to make the whole area, like the whole park, kind of sci-fi-ish. Actually, that's a good idea. Like, but then kind of different areas. So, like, I could have, like, the entrance area is already pretty generic. So I could just maybe future it up a little bit and kind of have generic futurism there. Then in the back, I could have maybe, like, I already make it, like, more like a wilderness area, but in a sci-fi world. So it's, like, maybe, like, an abandoned city. Ooh, that would be cool. And yeah, those are really the only two, like, themed areas I have, really. I mean, I guess there's this area here that doesn't really fit in. It's like 1920s air warfare, or airplanes, or whatever. I don't know if that'll really fit in with the rest of mine, but who cares? Like, look at any amusement park ever. They always have that one odd one out that just doesn't fit. Like, I'm pretty sure Intimidator 305, which is themed to racing, is in a jungle-themed area of King's Dominion, so that's kind of cool. Green Lantern is in a boardwalk-themed area at Great Adventure, and Superman. Two superhero, big, like, super expensive, big roller coasters are in an area themed to boardwalks, a small boardwalk on a beach. That usually is pretty cheap and small stuff. So, yeah. That's like the area, there's like this whole area at Great Adventure, like, basically the layout of the park is you come in, and then you can either turn right or go left. If you go left a little bit, then there's another left turn you can take. It's called the boardwalk area. It's this huge, like, long path with a bunch of shit on it, and it goes all the way kind of to the same length as the parking lot and, like, the entrance, and that's where Green Lantern and Superman are, so they're right on the parking lot. It's like really intimidating, like, when you're kind of walking up, because Green Lantern is actually pretty tall. It's like 150 feet. So, I mean, not super tall, obviously, like, King Dakar is literally right over there. But I think it's good, like, it kind of gets the excitement up. Like, you're walking in, you're, like, right under the, like, you're literally almost directly under the lift hill for Green Lantern. And I guess Superman, but Green Lantern kind of dwarfs Superman, if we're being honest. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And it definitely kind of gets me hyped for the day, usually, when I go to Great Adventure. But yeah, what I'm saying is it won't be the end of the world if one part doesn't really fit. And maybe I could probably figure out something like, maybe it's like time travel? I don't know. Yeah. Conversation has died. But, here I guess I'm just doing more of the same, the fences and stuff. And I made it kind of goes under the queue, so I had to make like a little tunnel there. And same with the priority pass area, because it was really annoying to get the queue good, because I didn't want it to just be lazy, a bunch of switchbacks in the middle of nowhere. I wanted it to be like the whole line kind of be near the coaster, so when you're like waiting in line, you kind of watch as the trains go like flying by through the inversions and airtime hills. And because I find in real life, I'd rather wait on a long line for Superman than Batman at Great Adventure. I mean, actually, I don't know. Superman then Bizarro. Maybe. I don't know. Well, I think Great Adventure does a decent job with their queues. But, like, I think Superman at Great Adventure is a good example because the queue line, it's not just a bunch of random switchbacks placed at the entrance and then the station, bam. It's like the station for Superman is kind of like on the other side of the plot that Superman takes up than where like the entrance area is and the main boardwalk path ends, because it's in the boardwalk area. It's like that station's right next to the parking lot. So you have to walk this long windy path that serves as the queue for Superman. So if there's like an hour wait, it's not like Green Lantern, not what I mean Green Lantern. It's not like Joker, El Toro, King Decot, and Jersey Devil where you have to put your stuff in a locker. You can just, there's bins in the ride platform and they don't care if you keep stuff in your pockets on the ride. So you can have your phone with you. So if you're bored, you can just be like talking with friends and stuff. And if you don't have your phone in you, you can just, it's literally directly under the coaster. So like you get great views of the ride that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. And it's really cool. So the only reason I don't like waiting a long time for Superman is because it's one of the weaker coasters at the park, in my opinion. Not that it's bad, it's just everything else is so good, in my opinion. But like, and because it's naturally gonna have a longer wait time because since it's a flying coaster, the operations are so goddamn slow. Because it kind of has to be because of the whole process is always a bit slower. So it doesn't really move as fast as all the other rides, like even Green Lantern, I think, it does a better job, and that's a stand-up. But Green Lantern, they don't really have to rush, because it's a lot longer of a layout, and they only run 2 trains on that for some reason, so that also moves really slow. But I think the crew does a good job. I commonly see them, like, they dispatch the train as the previous train is just about to hit the brake run. Like, the last time I was on it, right as we hit the brakes and started slowing down, I looked at the station, and the other train was already halfway up the lift hill. Not halfway, but it was part of the way up the lift hill. So yeah, contrary to something like Nitro where it feels like you don't even get to stop. It's just common. It's like Nitro's queue and it's a long line. It's not like a boring way. It's exercise really, because you just keep walking. I mean, that's not really what it's like, but it feels like that kind of. It just feels like the line moves so fast on Nitro, and I love it. But yeah, back to the video. Nothing interesting's happening, just me placing these fences. Yeah. Sorry to say, but that takes a large part of the video up. It took a large part of my time up too, like, just doing this was so boring for me, because it took, like, a long time, because it was just the same thing over and over again, and then you also had to, like, where there was these awkward corners, you had to find out new solutions and, like, make it perfect and stuff. So fucking annoying, like, holy shit, dude, I was so bored. And, like, it was annoying to edit this too, because a lot of times I just usually have like a movie or something or some YouTube video on my second monitor, and so I'd get bored and lose interest in the game and just be looking like at the movie. I'm like, oh my god, Thanos is about to snap his fingers or whatever if I'm watching Infinity War, and then like 10 minutes later I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I'm recording Planet Coaster. And so yeah, that is what happens in the world of me when I play this game. A lot. When I'm doing more boring stuff. When I'm doing something that's more interesting, like working on like some scenery for like, if I have like a lot of motivation, oftentimes maybe if the thing I'm watching at, like, it's not really something I have to look at for it to be entertaining. Like if it's something like someone talking about something, then I don't have to worry about it. Like if it's a YouTube video. But like if it's like a movie that's like a lot of it's like not really expressed through like sound, it's more like, oh, you have to see this to enjoy the movie, then it's like hard to enjoy. I mean, even if it's a movie I've seen a million times, like Infinity War, it's like I'd lose focus easier. But yeah, another thing is I'm building coaster layouts. I almost never lose focus during that, or like smoothing. Well, smoothing, I don't know about smoothing. I mean, now smoothing, yeah, it's easy because I just spam the smooth forward button because I got the mod. But like, if I don't have the mod, I mean, before I had the mod, it was kind of it was annoying. But it was easy. It's just because it's just the same thing over and over again. There's nothing you have to really worry about with smoothing, if you did it right in the first, like, building the layout, you know. So yeah. Here, this was really annoying. Making these nets for this hill, because it goes over the queue. And if someone's phone falls out of their pocket on this roller coaster, or if there's a loose bolt somehow, which probably wouldn't happen, but it has happened on roller coasters before, it would probably kill someone in the queue if it didn't hit the fence, and that's why there's a netting here, so it would fall into the net and not hurt anyone. I mean, of course, in reality, what would probably happen is it would go flying and then land, like, somewhere else. Like, not even close to where the train was when it fell out of the rider's pocket, like a phone, because of the momentum. But yeah, because of how it was, like, profiled, like, slightly turning the whole time, and it was also banked weirdly, and it's also an airtime hill, it was so annoying to get it right. And it took so long, because I had to, like, fiddle with each piece, like, make sure it's perfectly orientated. But this is, like, that was, like, the only way that would look good, and not, like, super messy, you know? Like, there's another part. Another thing I haven't done is there's a heartline roll right after the second launch and the Sidewinder, and that heartline roll right after the Sidewinder, it goes over the path. Well, technically it doesn't, because I removed the path there and made it a lot thinner to the side, so I wouldn't have to do custom supports, because paths block default supports, because I'm lazy. But then I put it with the paint color that matches the path that I'm using here, just to make it look like there's path. And so in reality, there would be a net there to kind of make sure people's phones that fall out wouldn't hit the path and potentially hurt someone. But I couldn't really use those nets because there's a gap in them, and it's an inversion, so I can't really have it upside down. And if it was, and then so I tried using the chain link fences, which I've said are good, but that I just couldn't get it to look good, you know? And like, now that I think about it, I definitely think it doesn't look that great when you're using it as like coaster netting to like make sure people are safe. It looks all right in some places, like where I did it over the entrance. I think it looks good, but like over by the entrance to the park instead of this coaster, I'm gonna redo that there when I do the entrance area. Like, the things I'm gonna do there, I'm gonna redo the 0G roll on Flamethrower. I'm not sure what inversion I'm gonna do in place of it, but I'm gonna do something. And then I'm gonna redo kind of how it's protected. If I'm gonna make the entrance building, and then if the entrance building like area makes it so like it would be in reality safe, like people could walk under it and they would be walking under the track, but there would be something above them while they're directly under the track, then I won't have to worry about netting. But worst case scenario, I'll just figure out a new thing, and I might use them to kind of put it in with the building. But yeah, I'm planning on having an entrance very similar to Cedar Point's entrance, like Gatekeeper. I really love Cedar Point's entrance, and so I want my park's entrance to look kind of similar, where it's kind of like modern and like really big and grand and wide open. So yeah. Alright, here, scenery. Alright, ride theming, I didn't really have to do as much like during the ride theming as I thought I would. I just kind of plopped a few planes down and it looked good, so I'm like, oh, okay. Like, this was probably, like, the second most, yeah, probably second most effort I went for, like, theming something during the ride. And it wasn't really that hard. But basically, I just made, like, a crashed airplane sort of thing, like, in that helix. And then I just did smoothing, because smoothing never is bad. It's never bad. But, like, because a lot of the, like, kind of scenery that I did in the main entrance area, in that path that goes over to where the actual entrance is, like, it just fits. And like, since the roller coaster's in this whole area, that's right, it's all kind of in the same area, everything to do with this coaster, the stuff that I do, that I ended up making for the entrance path, like plaza or whatever you want to call it, midway, I don't know, whatever the word you guys uses, the stuff I did there ended up kind of acting as on-ride scenery, because it's just so close to the actual coaster path. So that was pretty cool. And like, kind of also like the queue path, like it kind of makes it feel like you're flying around like an airbase or a hangar or something, kind of, because there's just like a lot of structures all in one like big building. Like, the one other thing I did, I made originally, like, I think you'll see it actually, I'm not gonna spoil it because I'm pretty proud of it. But here I did the exit path. I kind of built it into the building and the transfer track, which I eventually built in and made it look more like a hangar, like an airplane hangar. But here I kind of just made some like buildings and stuff for whatever reason, because you need shops and stuff. That's why. And information, so you can get your fast passes if you don't have one, and you're like, oh, my favorite coaster is a 3-hour wait that I don't want to wait in. Let's get a fast pass. So yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so you can get your fast pass. Then there's like some food shops and stuff, because I actually only have one like actual food shop that like sells like real like food that you could use as a meal that's not like a snack or some ice cream. And it's served by flamethrower, and it's always like super crowded. So I'm like, okay, let's add another one. So I did. So that's cool. And then I had some bathrooms, which ended up being another hassle. I'll explain that when we get to it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And like stuff like basic stuff like that you'd usually find in like a Planet Coaster park, I guess. Oh, speak of the devil. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just kind of adding it next to the exit path, and then on that area right next to it, I added a little like area where you could get your ride photos. I have the building done, but I haven't actually taken like what I did with flamethrower is I took screenshots of the people on the ride from where I put the camera, and then put them onto the TVs to make it look like that it was actually like taking pictures of people on the ride, and. For here, I haven't done that yet, so that's something I also need to do, but I'm procrastinating and I'll do it later. So yeah. Here, alright. The annoying thing was the bathrooms, they don't have a good sign. Like, all the bathroom signs are just a man and a woman, like, standing next to each other. Like, I don't understand why that's the bathroom symbol. It has nothing to do with bathrooms at all. It's just a man and a woman, like, bro. And it's not even, like, good depictions. It's just a person that's a person, like a stick figure, and then a stick figure with a triangle on them. Like, I've always thought that was stupid. So I tried making my own custom sign that actually had a toilet on it to make it more obvious. That didn't work, so I just kind of made this text with the font that says restrooms, because that's the fancy way of saying bathrooms. The official fancy way. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically a rant on this game. And I couldn't find any good D-Maker's Toolkit items either that were like good signs of it, so that was annoying. Another rant is that the staff in this game quit way too easy. It's so annoying. Like, it's like you pay them $10 an hour and you overwork them to hell, and they're loving their job. You pay them $2,000 an hour and there's no one coming to where they are. They like, oh, I'm quitting. Like, you're literally getting $2,000 an hour to just sit in a building all day and do nothing. Like, come on. It's like the job of the century. But yeah, I ended up, for this part, like, also, you notice I've, like, repainted the area around just to kind of see where the actual paths were, because I was putting the shops in. So, yeah. And then here's where I started making the camera. But I made a mistake. I put it directly over the track. And there's a reason ride photo cameras in real life aren't like that, and they're more to the side. It's so you can see the whole train, because if it's right in front, you can only see, really, the people in the front row, because the seats are blocking. But if you make it to the side, you can kind of see, you get a better angle on the seats that aren't in the front, so that's pretty cool. So yeah. Alright, here's the last, like, major piece of scenery I did. I made an airplane hangar, like a full-out airplane hangar with an airplane in it. And I think it looks pretty sick. And so I did it here just to kind of make this area look more immersed, I guess. Like, immersive, like, you're kind of separated from the rest of the park, I guess. And then I was really proud of it, so I just kind of duplicated it over to the other side of the coaster, where the queue line, like, wraps kind of around the top hat, and no one's gonna notice that, so I'm like, who cares? And so, yeah, I did that. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Alright, yeah, this thing. So I just, like, kind of put it over there. So I have one here, and then I have, like, 2 or 3 over there to kind of make it look like there's another, you're kind of in, like, an airbase or airport or whatever. I'm saying airbase because it's, like, it seems like World War I airplanes, and, like, in that era of time, commercial planes weren't really a thing. It was really only for, like, military and flying for the sake of flying. It wasn't really flying to travel, so yeah, here I just kind of copy and paste it over because no one's going to notice. It's not like you walk up, you see this building, and then you go wait in line, and you see the same building again 3 times. It's not like anyone's going to do that, you know? You're going to walk over here and notice it to let your friends ride, or you're going to be the one riding and you don't notice the one right next to the entrance to the area. So yeah. Alright, never mind. That wasn't the last. This is the last, I think. I actually don't know if this is the last, so I'm not going to say that. But this, like, plaza area was looking a bit bland and, like, kind of too empty. So I literally just made an airplane runway. And then I took one of the in-game airplanes and, like, stacked it. Like, made it look like it just took off. So yeah. And I put the lockers here because I think the ideal setup for handling loose articles on rides is near the entrance of the ride. You have some lockers, so if you don't feel comfortable like leaving them on the side of the ride platform or in your pockets, you can just buy a locker for $1, and then you can have your things all safe. But if you don't want to do that, you want your phone in line, there's no rules against that. Like, you can have it in your pockets as long as it's like a closed pocket or whatever. Which anyone with common sense won't put their phone in their open pockets when they're on a roller coaster, if we're being honest. Anyone who actually does that is just dumb, and that's their fault. And there would also be bins or cubbies in this case. I think I did that last episode. I put the cubbies in the area in the station, and so you can just bring your backpack in line, so you can have like a snack in line if it's that long, and then you put it in the cubbies. So yeah, that's my logic. And then when you're done with the ride, the cubby area for your train kind of unlocks again, and you can grab your bag and maybe your phone if you don't have zippered pockets, and then you can take it with you out of the ride area. So yeah. Alright, now for the other really boring part that I hate is custom supports. I hate making custom supports. It's so boring. And so I will do like anything in my power to avoid making custom supports. It's so annoying. Like, the only time I actually do it is if there's a part that like needs a support and it goes over a path, or if the support that is there just doesn't look good at all, you know. I wish there was like a way where you could maybe take a button, press a button or take a box or whatever, and supports would still go over paths, you know? That'd be really sick. But yeah, what I did here, I took away the path there, under that Heartline roll. And then just like, I was too lazy to close the coaster and edit it to turn off track supports for the areas I didn't think it was necessary, so I just put a really small path there. And then people might walk there, so yeah, it's cool. Sorry, it's like, I just stopped talking. I'm just like, not sure what to talk about, because out of ideas. But yeah. I mean, we are kind of close to the end of the episode anyway, where we'll have a final POV, the final POV with sound and everything. Everything's done. That actually matters to the POV. Because, as I said, there's a few things I haven't done yet, but they don't really matter to the POV, because they're small things that no one cares about. Yeah, still doing custom supports. It takes so long, and it's so annoying. And then, the sign. These little signs there that you just saw me make for, like, half a second. And one here, it's like kind of direction signs. Those are one of my pet peeves in this game. It's so annoying to make them because all the text is so big. Even this custom font here is fairly big, and like in real life those signs have really small font, like stuff that you like write on paper. And like, so you do that, and then it's kind of like to tell you where everything is if you don't have a park map. So like, you walk in, you're like, okay, I heard of this really sick coaster called Aviator. How do I get to it? You see the sign, you go left. Oh, I go left. Now that's cool. So yeah, the small font works enough because I'm only planning on doing it for like major rides and stuff. So yeah. Let's just finish in the transfer shed here. Transfer track, maintenance shed, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's like almost the end. It's like one of the last things I ended up doing. This and the lighting for the area, like all the lights and stuff. That's something I did. So yeah. So yeah, that is the end I'm going to shut up now for the POV. Thank you guys for watching. And, oh shit, I commentated that too long. I'll just edit the commentary. All right, bye.